welcome to another episode of On the Capo Stand podcast. I am your host, David, and alongside, as in every week, finally the band is back together. We have our good friend John. How you doing, John?
Doing well, David. How are you?
Thank you, sir. Doing fantastic. And our good friend Ahmed.
Hey, good evening, gents.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So thank you everybody for tuning in. For those of you that are watching us live, I'd like to remind everybody that we're on Instagram, we're live on X, we're live on Facebook, we're on live on Twitch, we're on TikTok, we're on Threads, we're on Blue Sky. As at on the Capital Stand podcast, this can be heard in audio after we're done here on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, and you can watch this on YouTube at David's Channel 76. You can watch it live with us, interact with us. If you want to join the show, send us a message. We'll bring you back to talk to us. You can make live comments, all that good stuff. Well, guys, big show. So let's go straight to what we do best. First of all, let's go ahead and do the OCB minute. The boys fell 2-1 to Carolina Court. One of those unlucky bounces of the ball, and the boys went out. So, guys, you take over. How was the experience?
It was good, man. It was a fun experience. I met up with John. We had our kids with us. It was a nice turnout. The game was good. I think the guys had a good effort. With some gaps here and there, but that's to be expected. I think the refs didn't really help their case too much. I'm glad we were able to walk out of the stadium because I was afraid walking next to John that we were going to be harassed by the refs, but I'll leave that to John. He can tell you a little bit more about the refs and what a great job they were doing.
Yeah, I mean, it was a fun time. My little guy had fun. If anybody watches the replay of it, right about the 80th, 81st minute, when you can hear the ILF members that were there doing the LA chant. When they start the chorus, you can clearly hear my little guy screaming his head off to the chant as good as he can in his 2-year-old language. So that
you
was
might
fun.
actually hear John too.
Oh, you definitely can hear me at the end. Yeah, I mean, the boys played well. They put the effort in. Some unlucky bounces, some questionable refereeing, to say the least.
Yeah.
I mean, I when the foul happened on Zechariah Taifi, I feel like I always pronounce his name wrong, but you know who I'm talking about. He got a foul called on him when just seconds before that. I can't remember which player it was, but basically got fouled in the same manner, just didn't fall down, and the ref didn't call it. Ruined a potentially dangerous attack on our end. And I thought the refereeing was terrible all throughout the game. First half, he didn't call anything. Then, not even 5 minutes into the second half, he called like 4 or 5 fouls right in a row against Orlando City. And then the penalty that he called on Orlando to give Carolina a penalty kick, I thought was terrible. When I rewatched it, thought the same thing. It looked like the Orlando City player went to the ground, and the Carolina player tried to draw the foul by taking 2 more steps after the Orlando player had already played the ball. Took 2 more steps and then intentionally fell over him basically, and then the ref fell for it. And then several minutes later, Ahmed, I know you'll remember this one. There was one where Orlando in his box, and Carolina guy went to the ground, and should have been a corner kick. And if it wasn't a corner kick, it should have definitely been a penalty, in my opinion, because he completely took the Orlando City player out. And in that situation, if you don't touch the ball, then it's a penalty. And somehow the referees called a goal kick. And then, needless to say, the last about 4 minutes of the match, if you hear somebody yelling at the ref, telling them how terrible they were and how they're an embarrassment, That was me. I'll make claim to that. And I mean, I let them have it. I was stayed quiet because I know they can hear me. I know I got a bigger voice. But when that happened, with Zachariah right on our side, kind of just I had it at that point. Both one of the head coach for Orlando City B as well as one of the assistants got a yellow card. The yellow card on the head coach was when the penalty happened. And the other one was a little bit later on the assistant, which you don't see multiple yellow cards to coaches very often. That's just kind of case in point about how questionable the officiating was. And I said it when I was on the phone with my dad after the match. Which locker room do the refs go to at halftime at Osceola Heritage Park to go to the visitors' locker room? And I found it very peculiar how right when the second half started, it was like he couldn't stop blowing his whistle on Orlando at the end or at the beginning of the half. But overall, it was fun. If you want to be able to watch, relatively high soccer, I'd say it's a little more family friendly than the as far as watching the sport wise than the Orlando City matches, the Orlando City B matches. You're right there. You can hear the players talking to each other. You can hear the ref talk to each other. That brings up another one. There was a time one of our guys had the ball on the sideline, and the ref said, "No holding, no holding, no holding." Well, then the Carolina player held the Orlando player back. Ball goes out of bounds. Ref doesn't blow a whistle. I almost yelled at that one, but I didn't. I saved it for a full blowout at the end of the match. And then and then the unfortunate call at the end where, again, I don't know how there was a foul called. And then watching the replay, I did see that our center back was offside on the outside on the rebound. They were basically the last play of the match there. But there should have been a foul called on Carolina in the air. That would have given us a free kick about 19 yards out, which could have drawn the match, which would have been, big. So
correct.
But overall, it's a fun time. I this next week, if you have season tickets, I believe it's Sunday. The boys play Enter Fort Lauderdale's second team.
July 14th. Yes, sir.
So you got 4 free tickets to it if you're a season ticket member. Highly suggest going, especially since it's a chance to take one from our interstate rivals, and especially
for sure. And there's no Orlando City at home the next 2 weeks, so there's no excuse, people, and it's free. It's free. Go take advantage of it.
Yep.
Ahmed, anything else to add about the outing yesterday?
No, man, it was great. I mean, I've always said it. I'm glad that you see more of the front office promoting OCB. I don't remember seeing this much promotion of it last season. So I'm happy to see it. I hope it continues because I think they could draw a really nice size crowd to those games, and it'll help. It's, for the little work they've done this season, or that I know of, I think you're getting a good turnout. You had young people in this front. They were chanting without even the ILF's input on there. So you're building that atmosphere. You're building that environment, and some of the players at the end were coming up. My son got a couple of pictures with some of the players, so it's a great environment. He saw Thomas Williams, and he was like, "Damn, I didn't bring his card to get it signed."
Right.
So it's really a great environment, especially for the younger crowd that's just getting involved. It's a little bit more accessible and not as intimidating, honestly. Like sometimes
it's a great place, man.
Absolutely. I think it's great, and
I'm the proud owner of T. Williams signed trade card, and I know that I'm banking on maybe one day selling this treasure to pay for one of my grandkids' college degree. So
one thing that did surprise us though, and John and I both said it, Alex Freeman was there.
Yeah, Alex Freeman started. Yeah.
And he just played the night before.
Yeah, he played 10, 15 minutes on
Saturday? Buddy. That what? I was like, is that the same guy?
Yeah.
I wasn't wow. Amazing. So, amazing.
I'm glad.
I mean, listen, when you're 21, 22 years old, you can do that. Me, on the other hand, I went to Aquatica on Sunday, And no, it wasn't Sunday. It was like
Friday.
Friday. And I was telling you guys that I was telling Ahmed at the stadium that I wanted to chop my legs off. Listen. I'm at a time in my life, guys. I get winded. I need physical therapy. Just going to check the mail. We have a comment. If you guys don't mind reading that.
Yeah, absolutely. Serge Nash says, "Good evening. I'm on time for the first time.
Thank you, brother.
Glad to see Robin score and Dagger Dan's input. Finally was able to say hi to John face to face.
I was gonna mention that. John mentioned that you guys met. Thank you again. Listen, I love when people come over say hello. It puts a face to what we're trying to do rather than a number that we see when people download or watch us live or listen to us. Thank you very much. You know, the show's for the fans to give an opportunity for people to have a platform. So thank you very much. From the bottom of my heart, I appreciate that. So yeah, John already said it. July 14th. I hope everybody's there. I'm gonna try a Herculean effort to go. It's important. It's important that the boys know that they can count on us, especially OCB, which is the future.
And
So
yeah, I
that's
mean, what you just said it right there, David. You know, it's the future. I was just looking because you were saying, you know, being 21, 22 years old. I was just looking to see how old, you know, the team is actually. You know, Anthony Freeman is 19. Thomas Williams is
my goodness.
19.
19.
Wilfredo Rivera's
19.
an elder statesman on that team at 20. Shaq Muhammad's 20. And then you know, you go to the bench and Fabian Loyola is 19. So
Oh
I mean,
wow,
it truly is. You know, you look at those players. You
a
know,
lot of young guns.
yeah, they could, in my opinion, all of them could be bench players for the senior team. But they
Absolutely.
have the
And, you know,
opportunity.
Loyola and Rivera had incredible outings with the Chilean and Puerto Rican national teams. So I don't know, and they both scored some golazos. So the future is bright for this young man,
Yeah.
and I am proud that they call Orlando City home.
And it was
Um,
good seeing you too, Serge. By the way, I caught me off guard, and then I was like, okay, cool. I was started to ask, you know, what your name on the show was, if you commented or what have you.
yeah,
And
yeah,
you
yeah.
introduced yourself anyway.
We
So
have
it was good to see you. Good to put a face to the name.
absolutely, my friends. We have another comment if you guys don't mind.
Yeah, Ree Widner says from Saturday was a great night for. I'm guessing there's more to come.
Absolutely. So, all right. Well, let's go to what everybody wants to hear. Before we start, we received some important information from a person that hit the streets to get what everybody wants to know, which is where does Inter Miami play?
Where does Inter
Evidently,
Miami play?
we're gonna have to send out Dora the Explorer or Carmen San Diego.
No, no. Miami! Miami. Nope. Florida. Fort Lauderdale.
Florida.
What city?
What city? Miami.
Nope. Fort Lauderdale.
Miami?
Nope. Fort Lauderdale. Yeah. Miami. Florida. Nope. Miami.
Whoa.
No. Fort Lauderdale.
The man says, I don't know. It's Inter Miami. Well, I actually have taken it up to myself. I wrote a letter to our governor to see maybe we can't have like robocalls to let people know that Inter Miami plays in Fort Lauderdale. So God bless them. Uh, oh my goodness.
We need to
Well,
also
guys,
write a letter to the governor for in a couple years. They're going to need to add more funding for the plastic recycling program in the state.
absolutely. Absolutely.
Because there's going to be a lot of plastic lying around the state, not
Absolutely.
even just the state, the country, for you know all the fake
Oh,
fans.
Indeed, my friend. And also, you know, we want to remind everybody that tickets are tax free in the month of July. So July 20th, when the boys come back to play in New York City at home, go purchase your ticket. Tax free, baby. Tax free is the way to be. Aside from that, excuse me, we want to congratulate the girls at the women, I should say, at Orlando Pride, who this past weekend with a women down beat the other undefeated team, Kansas City Current. Martha with some of the most incredible crab housing I've seen. And you guys know I love to talk trash. I love to gloat. I love to flex my muscle. And this woman, uh, if if um, if getting under people's skin was a crime, Martha would probably be in death row right now. She really, really got under the skin. And you know what? You know what she said to them? I said, if you don't like me celebrating, then you don't lose a man, a woman up, and you let a 10 women squad beat you at home. That's what she said. Woo, buddy. That's those are fighting words. So hey, I just glad she's in purple.
Oh,
So
and just to add on to what you're saying, David. I mean, think about what Marta's went through. This is her third or fourth season here at least.
no more than that, brother. I think she's been here
This is 5 or 6.
2018.
She has been. Okay, I know she's been here a while.
She's been here a while, brother.
Time flies when you're having fun, but I
Absolutely.
mean, there's no way she could have been having fun in, those bad years that they had, and that she stuck it through, and deserves everything that's happening right now.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of in the twilight of her career, and I mean, yeah, I mean, you as a home team, you can't lose to a 10, playing up a player, and then. Cry about it afterwards. And
That's
they acted
right.
like they won the title, this and that and the other. Well, guess what, Kansas City? You guys have been, some top dogs for a while. I've always known Kansas City to be one of the better NWSL teams out there. And there's a new sheriff in town.
That's
and,
true.
They're coming. They're coming
That's
hot
true.
and heavy, and they keep getting better. From what I can see this year, they continue to get better. They signed the players that was needed. And Barbara Banda is an
Woo.
animal out there, just a goal scoring machine. And
Yeah.
they play exciting soccer. And then let's hope the men can start to pick up the slack and continue forward.
Fantastic segue, my friend, because we're going to be talking about 2 games this week. All wins. First time that Orlando City manages to do that this season, and we're gonna go straight into it. Ahmed, if you do us a favor, read the comments, so I don't want to let them pile up before we go.
Yep, absolutely. We have this one from Ray. I think we read it already. And then he said, from Cincinnati, Saturday night was a great night to watch my MLS teams. It definitely
right.
was. Serge Nash says, close to 2/3 of the game between Section 20 and 21 girls showed up in Fort Lauderdale jersey. We got love from a bunch of people. I think Dave has a story about that as well. He said near the sideline.
Yep.
And Tour Rep 1 says Martha deserves to have a trophy here without a doubt.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah, we got a bunch of them here. Team Bedoya says it was so good Saturday heckling the DC subs in front of the Ruckus kids just didn't hit the same.
That's right, buddy.
Yeah. Misael Rosa says, so for a big portion of the first half, Duncan didn't get the ball. Whether it was on purpose or he wasn't open to receive it, he was getting frustrated. Yes, yeah. You could see that.
But I mean, he has some incredible assists. So
Tour Rep goes back to talk about the Pride. He says they double marked Barbara the entire game.
I watched the highlights,
because they can't not, or she'd make them pay for it. And then Misael goes and says, I think it was late first half. He took a bad shot and teammates got upset with him on TV. He yelled, pass me the effing ball. Wow.
Yeah, I mean, so when I rewatched the match Saturday, my dad brought it up when I was talking to him Saturday night on the way home from the match. Duncan got the star wide receiver to equate it to the NFL, where he seemed to think he was always open, but you looked and there was always 2 guys right there making sure that he couldn't get the ball.
People are not.
That just shows his competitiveness, and it showed in the second half he was willing to kind of get out of his comfort zone, which is in the middle of the field, and get in those wide areas, and ended up that ball that he passed to Facu, you could not have passed the ball any better to that
That
back
was like
post.
served up on a platter for Facu.
Oh my goodness, yeah.
If Facu had missed that, we would have had other issues. Like seriously,
for
that
sure.
was like,
So, guys, we this past Wednesday night we went up to the Great White North, to Toronto to be exact, over there in Ontario. And Orlando City snatches a win in a place that has not been very kind to us. And result 2-1. That was the 8th game in a row that Toronto loses. They lost at home. The place empty. I couldn't believe it. I mean, here in Orlando, when we are doing bad, the attendance tends to take a nosedive. But in our worst, we had more people than they had. It's incredible how people had abandoned the club. So Etienne Jr. On the 5th minute, in what appeared to be another disastrous out. But on the 27th minute, Martin Ojeda, who is having a week, scoring in 2 consecutive matches, but I don't want to get ahead of myself. Martin Ojeda, the DP that we stored away right in the pine, all of a sudden starting scoring goals. Imagine that. Shocking. I'm clutching my pearls right now. And then after that, on the 45th minute, here on it says Gomez. I don't believe we have a player by that name. Oh, because it was ruled an own goal. That's why the goal that Facundo scored, quote unquote, was ruled an own goal. But nonetheless, not take away anything away from our boy, who basically did everything except throwing the cake in the oven. And with that, my friends, an assist from Ivan Angulo on Martin Ojeda. Ivan Angulo, another player that is thermonuclear white hot at the moment. And with that, we snatched 3 necessary points against a team that is below us on the table. Let's start with you, Ahmed, and then John on the on what you take out of this match.
I was happy with it. I was happy with the result. Was I ecstatic that we won? I can't say that I was. I mean, these are the kinds of games we've come to expect that we should win. But lately, every time we say that, we end up eating those words, So we look good in that game, and we'll obviously talk about this past game, but we looked good in that game. But part of me is like, how good are we? Or is it just that we're playing somebody that's not as good, So that's always in the back of my mind for all these games, because if you look at the table and where we're at and where these teams are at. So am I happy? Yes. Maybe this is what the guys need to get their act together and, finally realize that it's the same team from last season. That's like I keep saying it, So I'm glad we got the result. I'm glad things worked out that they did. And I'm happy to see the guys scoring, because you need that. No matter what you say, it's like that's why they play this game, to score goals. So hopefully that scoring the goals gets in their heads, helps boost their motivation and gets us on the right track. That game for me was average, like what I would have expected. Barely what I would have expected, how I would have expected us to play, at a bare minimum. So that's all I got.
That's it, John.
Yeah, I mean, first Facu used his right foot on that. That was meant to be his center. That the defender looked just as surprised as the rest of us that he used his right foot, without really hesitating. So that was a welcome sign to see Facu use his off foot. But yeah, I mean, as far as the whole match, I thought the first half we looked very good. Beginning of the second half, they looked, still looked decent, and then kind of as the game wore on, turned extremely defensive. Which, when you have one of the stars or alleged stars of the other team, that is an absolute mental midget and can't get out of his own way to play the sport. I'm talking about Bernadeschi. You can play defensive. I mean, the Kyle Smith handled him. I know there was some Kyle Smith slander on social media before the match about, him being out there. Did he get burnt the on the first goal? A little bit, yeah. He let the cross. The cross was a little bit too easy for Bernadeschi to put in, but rest of the match, Kyle Smith pocketed him. And I thought Facu played one of his best matches of the year for, the majority of the match. Ojeda was definitely a bright spot. And then the one troubling thing, I always have to go a little bit negative is why was Ojeda brought off when he was brought off? He was one of the few players still that was looking threatening in the attack. He gets subbed off and our attack from then on basically goes non-existent for, I can tell you the exact amount of time for, about 20, 25 minutes, the remainder of the match when he got subbed off. And, I feel it was very lucky to come away with a win. If Toronto was a little bit more clinical on their attacking third, that it would have been a draw. If we're lucky, because we've seen plenty of times this year where we have a goal lead going into, the midway through the second half and they end up giving up 2 straight goals. Or we, draw it even and the other team scores a goal or two really quick to kind of take us out of it again. So, overall, if I were to have to give it a letter grade, I'd say a C-. And it was very close to a B, but the last 20, 25 minutes was really underwhelming in my opinion.
No, I have to agree with you guys. Listen, I mean, Toronto is on free fall. Is one of the clubs with the most expensive roster. They, after being losing to us, they went down to Columbus and got clobbered 4-0. Proof that you can't go the route of throwing money at a problem, and unfortunately for them, that's the case. They were really bad for 10 years. It took, people want to clown us because it took us 5 years to make playoffs. It took them a decade. And when they got there, they had 3 appearances in the MLS Cup, winning 1. And one of the things I tell people is, money will buy you success, temporary success, and at the end of the day, that's all you're gonna get. Look at Atlanta, red hot 2017, 2018. What have they won since? Nothing. That right now they're not making playoffs. They just fired their manager. It's a bad situation.
They sold everybody too. Atlanta has sold everybody on their team.
Right. They either they're gonna make a huge splash with somebody that wants to have an open canvas, or they just want to recoup money because they know they're not gonna make it. That's the thing. When you spend money on big time players and those big time players are not performing, you're not gonna be able to sell them. So that is that. I can tell you it was a pleasant surprise for us to go there. Because we came out of New York City, really bad, costly. By the way, Mason has finally started to walk, and to my surprise, Mason remains in New York City. He has not returned home as of yet. He's there with his wife, and once he gets the clearance to return back to Orlando, then he'll do so. I believe the reason why he has not been given the clearance is that they're making sure that the leg is not infected. They're making sure that the swelling is going down, and also that his cardiovascular system can stand traveling. I mean, not for nothing, there's some blood loss, broken bone, this type of precautions that will take. So, I know that Mason wants to return home. There's nothing like sleeping in your own home, man. Scientific studies say that when you sleep in your own bed, bro, you just recover quickly. So hopefully that will happen. So guys, then, by the way, John, when we refer to Kyle Smith, we have to say the Kyle Smith. It's a rule that we have in this podcast. The Kyle Smith. We have to act with reverence to Cincinnati's second famous son, obviously John being the first. So with that said, guys, we return this Saturday to a very muggy and hot Lando, and to face DC United. One of the, to be honest with you, calling this team a bogey team, understatement. And we see there the team of the week, John. If you don't mind explaining that.
Yeah, Robin Janssen made the first 11 of the team of the match day, and Angulo made the bench. If Luna and Acosta hadn't had incredible matches, Ojeda would have been on that. I thought he still deserved a spot on the bench.
Uh-huh.
And another guy that frequently gets denied a spot is Dagger Dan. I thought he had an incredible match again Saturday, and got slided yet again. I feel like he could just about every week he deserves to be on that team of the match day, but unfortunately, scoring goals in this game gets you the lights, and he does the little things incredibly well, and doesn't get the recognition.
Absolutely. And there we go. This is for by some fans. I fear that they were gonna get banned, but those are the expensive seats. So they were those. That's those are the suites. Those are the suites. So they're untouchable. So they have there for the benefit of those listening to us. It says Facu around and find out, and DC found out indeed. This was across from us. Ahmed, quick with the camera. So guys, let's go ahead and talk about DC. 5-0 in favor of the boys from the 407. We see there the man of the hour, Facu, taking the selfie with the wall on the back. Love those pictures. And this we're about to read half of the starters practically here. Martin Ojeda on the 19th minute. Robin Janssen with a laser cross from Ivan Angulo. From Wilder Cartagena, straight to the forehead. 23rd minute. Then we have on the 42nd minute Angulo, and then Facu Torres on the 74th with a great assist from Boy Wonder, Duncan McGuire, and then Ramiro green card Enrique on the 85th minute, closing the night. Incredible performance by the boys, and I have to tell you that I was shocked. And before I give the microphone to Ahmed, I have to tell you this. I watched the game with our good friend, who once again invited me. He needs to stop doing that because the people of Section 35 are getting my best material. I'm missing the South Side with the poor people. And anyhow, so we aside from when we got there, first goal came in. I'm like, okay. Second goal, all right. By the third goal, I look at Ahmed deep into his caramel color eyes, and I said, Ahmed, we gotta go 5. We gotta go 5. We gotta push our luck. We gotta go 5. I'm not gonna be satisfied until 5. And we managed to get that. I know the wall was screaming for a 6-1, but because we wasted a lot of opportunities trying to get Muriel to score a goal. In fact, somebody texted me and says, "Man, the night was fantastic, but Muriel, come on!" I mean, we were a man up, for the love of God. And before I give the microphone, I finished the night by singing that old spiritual. He's getting fired in the morning. He's getting fired in the morning. DC's manager is getting fired in the morning. I felt sorry for that. I mean, man, with a suit. My son was like, "Dad, why does he have a suit? It's like 99 degrees, 100% humidity." I'm like, I don't know. He probably wanted to look nice for his funeral. So, I mean, impressions of the game, then John, and we'll take it down that rabbit hole.
Yeah, man. I mean, listen, we played the way we should have been playing all along, right? We saw everybody do what they needed to. We saw the guys come out. We saw people score that haven't scored yet, How many times did the announcer say their first goal this season?
That's
I
right.
felt like saying, and how far into the season are we?
5 months into it.
let's not talk about that part, right? I mean, listen, you had everything you could want. If it was my first game there, I'd be coming back for sure. Right? Not forget everything up until Saturday. It
Hmm.
was a great game. The guys played well. Like I said before, you have to look at who you're playing. Should we have been playing that well good against DC? Absolutely. Should we have been scoring like we did, being a man up? Absolutely. If we didn't, there would be a problem. You know, honestly, I was disappointed when about 60 minutes in, we kind of took our foot off the gas. And to your point, it was like you saw it. We were just like going full throttle, and all of a sudden, Muriel comes in, and
I was like, more.
you're like, "What?" That's when the crowd started chanting, "We want 6." It's like, what the heck's going on? We can't. I get it, and you're the one who pointed it out. And if you hadn't pointed it out, I wouldn't have noticed it. That they were trying to set him up, and I get it. But how about just don't take your foot off that pedal? I don't care if we're up by 5. We need the 5. We need more than 5. If you look at our goal differential, just
Hmm.
keep knocking it away. Don't. So, am I happy with the outcome? Absolutely, absolutely. I just want to see it over the next 2 or 3 games. I want to see that same composure. I want to see that same team coming out. I want to see the Kyle Smith start again. Maybe that's the secret. Maybe we've been
Crack
wrong
the
all this
code.
time because he started the last 2 games, and the last 2 games we won. Maybe
Crack
that's
the
been
code.
the key all along, guys.
The Cal Smith,
You can't bring him in halfway through the game. You have to start with him. How about
the
that?
American legend. Go ahead, John.
So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, overall, win's a win. They took care of business. They showed what they can do against a much lesser team. I mean, let's be honest. 10 of the 11 players that started the match for DC looked like they actually wanted to be out there. The only guy that even remotely looked like he wanted to be out there is their best player in Benteke. I think that's how you say his name anyway. Yeah, I mean, the first goal, the run by Dagger Dan, just the defender tried to bully him off the ball, and Dagger Dan held his ground. Beautiful pullback to draw the keeper out, and then puts it right to Ojeda's feet, and he knocks it in. And then we're off and running from there. The thing, honestly, I liked the most about the night was the control that. I mean, I haven't seen an Orlando City team, I think, ever. I could be exaggerating there, but it's been a very long time since I've seen the ball seamlessly flow from side to side, meaning left side of the field to the right side of the field.
Mhm.
A lot of that has to do with Ojeda being in there. I also liked how him and Facu also seamlessly interchanged their positions occasionally, even on the defensive end. And it wasn't a forced thing either. I mean, I noticed it when I was rewatching the match. There was a time that Ojeda was on the right, Facu was in the middle, and they just seamlessly. I didn't even see their mouth move. I watched it a couple times, just seamlessly interchanged. Where Facu took back over the right, and Ojeda went into the middle just like it was supposed to be. Facu followed a man over. Ojeda followed his man to the middle, and it was just seamless like that the whole match. And that's what we've been. That's what we've been waiting for. We finally got the 3 points when the results around the league went our way, where we could jump a bunch of teams like they did. The negative part about it is they could have done this 2 or 3 other times in the season, and there could be a pretty substantial gap between us and I think it's Nashville's right below us at this point. But it is what it is. They took care of business. You can't really complain about anything in their performance. Thought everything was sound. Thought Poppy did a excellent job in his game plan coming in and kind of hitting them on the alternate counter, I'll say. And then, I guess really the only negative thing you can say is what Ahmed said about how, midway through the second half, they really took their foot off the gas pedal, which I can agree with to a point, but it really seemed like they got exceptionally lazy, exceptionally with the went a little too far with the foot off the gas pedal, where they just kind of stood there knocking the ball around instead of still playing a beautiful game of soccer like they had up to that point. But good night, good. The post game was fun. I don't know if you guys stayed for that or not, but that was pretty
Yeah,
cool
we
with
did.
all the legends and everybody that they had talking on Kaka's behalf, and big several games coming up before before they get a nice little months-long break for matches that don't matter. Because we got, I think it's 3. We got one next week, then the 20th, and then the I think
Yeah, we got 3 more before the farce
yeah,
of a
exactly.
tournament that we don't give a damn about.
So the next 3 matches are huge. We're 5 points off of sixth place right now. And we're still only 7 points out of last. So fifth place is 8 points ahead of us, and that's New York City. I think if we can get at least 7, I prefer 9, but at least 7 out of the next 3 matches. I think we can start to talk about this team turning it around, much like they did last year.
No, for sure. And I would like to say before reads the comments, our commitment is to the badge, to the colors. Our affections towards the staff are conditional. You don't win, we don't want you. You win, we love you. It's how it is, baby. How it is. And I gotta tell you, if Oscar is gonna make me eat my words, my guy, I am wide open. But like the guys have said, why did it took 5 months for us to play like this? We played like the team that finished second last year. That's what we did. We play like that. We play to win the game. And on my way home, my youngest son Isaiah tells me, Dad, mediocre people, the only silverware they get to lift are spoons and forks. If you want to win, if you want to lift silverware, you gotta go all out. And I'm sorry, here's a high school kid giving his father a lesson, and that's gonna be my mantra from now on, and it's gonna be my put down to the wet blanket club that always comes out when we win and hides when we lose. It was a beautiful night. The fact that we have so many former players at the end, and we're gonna touch that specifically, the situation with Kaká. If you follow us on Instagram, we had a live showing the whole ceremony. If you wanna check that out, you can go ahead and do that. If you don't mind reading the comments.
Yep. Let's see here. Ray Star. Oh no, sorry. I'll go back here. 2 Rep says Facu said, "Oh, you ain't gonna select me for Copa. Let me show you all what you passed up."
Amen.
Yeah. Ray says we finally attacked on the right with numbers against DC in the first half. Amen to that. Misael says what I loved was 5 goals and 5 different players.
Thank you, Misael. I mentioned that to Amen as it was happening.
It goes to show you that everybody can score.
Right.
Everybody has that ability. Everybody's got that talent. So, when people are sitting there talking about get rid of this person, get rid of that person, well, all those people that you're talking about, 5 of them just scored. So it's like it's not the players, people.
Well, I was told from good sources that the players know what we've been talking about. Oscar knows what we've been talking about. They know, they realize that they are doing poorly, and they crank up Eye of the Tiger at practice, and they started that 1980s video photo montage, baby. Because let me tell you something. By the 5th goal, I had no more energy. I don't know if it was the heat, the humidity, the adult beverage. I don't know what it was. I was done. I was done for the night. The poor lady in the front, she was like, there you go, lady. I'm not gonna leave you hanging. I left her hanging on the first goal that was ruled offside, and I felt really bad because she wanted. She was there was a group around us celebrating somebody's birthday. A lot of casuals, by the way. They were all casuals.
Yes.
And they God willing, they're gonna return because I'm telling you, like Ahmed said, it's the type of night that makes fans out of people.
Absolutely.
So like John mentioned, our captain, the
We still have a
man.
couple more comments, David. Let me
Oh,
just
go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, it's okay. So Tour Up says, so do you guys think that these last two games gave Poppy a lifeline? Because before
Of
these
course.
games,
Yeah.
I thought he was man overboard. Absolutely. Absolutely. I
Absolutely.
don't
What do you
think
think,
anybody
John?
has a doubt with that.
I think it gives him a lifeline to go into League's Cup. I mean, if they don't perform, in the next three matches and really make up some ground on the teams above them, with the capper being against New York City, and they lay another dud against New York City, that kind of shows that, okay, these teams that we beat the last two matches aren't that good. We just took advantage of them being in a bad spot.
Mm-hmm.
And I think until New York City, the teams are below us on the table as of now. So if we don't beat at least two of the three teams, that also says something.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And Nisael says, in my opinion, he's still on the hot seat until we win more, and especially versus better opponents. 100% agree.
Yeah.
We just lost to a better New York team a couple of weeks ago. Yes, sir.
And I mean, like wins tend to be like the Men in Black flashy thing. For some reason, bro, we win, and all of a sudden people forget about all the crap that
None of it
went
matters
through.
anymore.
Right.
Everything is awesome. The Mr. Kyle Smith and Mr. Martino Ojeda, this is your answer to the playoffs.
That's
This is Serge,
it.
and he says
That's
we
it.
must have a minimum of 7 points out of the next 3 games.
No, absolutely. We said it. July is
say
15 points. July is 15 points. We already got 6 in the bag. That is 6 more than what I was expecting. But go ahead.
Team Bedoya says, I can't remember when we had 24 shots on goal.
My goodness.
I can't remember shooting 24 times.
No, that's true. It's an incredible. It was an incredible night because when you look at all the garbage that we had to submit ourselves at home.
Go back. Sorry, David.
Yeah, go ahead, brother.
To go back to Torep's comment, I mean, we're still, like I said,
I'll be right back.
We're still closer to last place than we are to fifth place, which is only 2 spots ahead of us in the table.
And you know what it is, John? To your point, it's like we went up the table quickly. We can go down just as quickly. It's like easy come, easy go. A couple of wins here, a couple of losses, then it negates
we lose
it all.
2. We get a point each in these next 2 matches. We could very easily be sitting in. I'm just doing the math. We could very easily fall all the way down to 13th, depending on what happens in the other matches.
It's crazy that it's that tight between those positions.
Because right now we're at 27 points. New York City's at 35 and 5th, and DC is in last place with 20. So, there's not much room between us and last. There's more room between us and 5th than us and last.
Well, luckily we made a bunch of room. We made some gains in our goal differential.
Negative. We're at -4.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah, I mean, so we have the next 3. Just for those that aren't aware, we have New England, Nashville, and then New York City at home. New England is in 12th. Nashville's in 8th, so they're both below us on the table, and then New York City in 5th. If we come away with 9 points, we could very well, be very close to being in that 5th spot, which is, to me, the bare minimum we should be in at this point in the year, even with the slow start.
Yeah. And we have one more comment. Carlos Rivas in his career with OC had 23 shots and none on goal.
My goodness. Leave that man alone. That man has suffered enough. Leave him alone. No, guys. We have our good friend Vixen showing back up. I'm just gonna wait for him to get in position. And you too can join us. Before we let him in, I would like to talk about the event for Kaká. After the game, 15 minutes after the game was over, we gave an opportunity to our former captain, player from 2015 to 2017, the man who scored the first MLS goal in this new era of our club, a gentleman on and off the pitch, somebody that I personally admire. As the situation that happened with his first marriage touches home for me. And I watched his interview about it. This is a guy that is not afraid of telling people this is my faith, this is what I believe in, this is what I'm all about. And I think a lot of people can learn from that. It's a guy that nobody can say anything negative about. Good thing we had Break Shea, Kevin Molino, the Soca Warrior, a Orlando City legend in my book, and oh, Scott Sutter, who all of them live in town, by the way, who came to support, Ricardo Kaká on his induction. The South Side, the running of the wall. The South Side holds so much history for our club is insane. It's going to be emblazoned with his name, and in the future, there's going to be other players that are going to be making the mark, as you can see there on the picture. For those on audio, we're showing the picture of Kaká with his parents. His mother looks young, and oh my god, I can't believe that woman is the mother of a 40-year-old. And he has there his two girls with his second wife and his daughter from his first marriage. And not for nothing, Kaká left a legacy in this club, and it was nice to have him back because I think for us as fans, we can always look back to an era that was full of hope. And unfortunately for Ricardo, he while he was here, unfortunately things did not go the way we wanted. So we're gonna ask the guys and our guest Vixen about the Kaká legacy. And so here we go. We haven't done this in a while. Vixen, welcome. You're on the Capo stand, my friend.
Thank
Hold
you guys so much. Thank you for having me back. How you guys been doing?
Good.
Doing good.
Good man.
Awesome, awesome.
All right. Were you at the game?
I was not.
Okay.
I wish I was. I wish I was, but I mean, for a 5-0 win, that was a beautiful match for Orlando right there, and
All right.
with uh, of course with Kaká, the legend being there, like right in front of his eyes. It's just like it made it better. And Break Shane
Absolutely.
there, Molino, Scott Sutter there too, of course.
hmm
Beautiful.
So what do you think of the week, my friend? We went into the week deep in the table, and now we can call ourselves a playoff bound club.
Yeah, we sure can, and hopefully it stays that way. We gotta get that grind going. We can't lose that grind. This five nil win is perfect for a 2 match away game series. I
hmm
think it's perfect. It gives us a little boost of morale going to New England and as well as Nashville. So hopefully we can win in those stadiums. I'm pretty certain I will beat New England and maybe get a tie in Nashville. It's always a stalemate between Nashville and Orlando.
Absolutely. We have battled before. We have battled with
Yeah,
them before.
yeah, man. Can't wait, and hope for the best. Hopefully nobody gets injured, nobody gets a red card, no funny business, you know. Um, and yeah, I mean, true. I mean, Araujo and Torres, they showed they're like, this is what happens when you leave me out of the Uruguay squad. And look,
That's it, baby. I mean, I agree 1,000%. A lot of Uruguayan fans.
I was shocked.
No, and the fact that Araujo's brother performed as well. A lot of people were questioning why his brother cannot be seen in the same light. But that's fuel for the engine, trying to get better. I don't know about you guys, but me, I always react like that. If if you think I can't do it, let me show you. Uh,
Absolutely.
so with
Absolutely.
that, also, what does the Cacao Legacy means to you, Vixen?
I'll show you what it means to me. A little picture with me and the legend right there.
Ah, nice,
Um,
nice.
it was super duper nice to me. I was very nervous approaching him. I called him going inside the Orlando City Den Bar restaurant on by the railroad tracks out there.
Yes, yeah, I remember that one.
I can't believe they closed that down. I mean, I watched the Copa America there,
Uh-huh.
Euro there, the Women's World Cup there.
I
Watch,
never got to go, but I was told it's because it was expensive and it was a one-trick pony. If you're not an Orlando City fan, you really have no reason to go there. And on top of that, people tell me they get a better atmosphere at the bar at the airport, which I can never go to because I'm always on my way to get on a flight out of there. So, but it's what it is.
I've never been to that bar at the airport. It's so inconvenient.
Yeah, I know. So if it was inside, I will by all means. Know, and outside of the airport, I don't know you guys, but yeah, all right, Vixen. So we are moving on to the New England Revolution. Your expectation on what should happen this coming up Saturday as we head up to New England.
I would like to. Quick question: Is will Duncan be there? When is he flying out with?
No, Duncan, I believe he may be. Amanda and I talked about this, and you guys correct me, you and John. I believe we may have seen him for the last time at home because he's
Um,
gonna quite possibly work, play with us, or leave after this Saturday because he has to meet the national team. And the rumor is that he's gonna be sold once the window opens up in July. So,
so
like I said, I hope that everybody got their autographs. Everybody got their picture with the guy because he ain't coming back.
yeah.
Wow.
I thought that he would at least like play for the first half and be subbed out for the second half for the New England game. I think that could have helped us. But if this is the case, maybe like a 1-0 win at New England. That's what I see. Um, but I wish he was there for. I wish he would stay here longer. Like I I don't know why MC likes to give these players away, like Daryl DK, Kyle Laren, Chris
Well,
Mueller.
unfortunately, those guys won out. Like Laren wanted out, DK wanted out. I mean,
Mueller.
in Duncan wants to go to Europe. He already turned down on a contract with Orlando City. And I'm gonna be honest with you. I think that some of these guys, it's not like we did anything for their career. We just picked their name out of a hat, and this is just a stepping stone for them. And let's selling him, it's money in the bank. Like I said, we didn't invest anything on the guy. We just got lucky enough to draft him, and he has the desire to go. We gotta let him go. We gotta let him go. And wish
Absolutely.
him well, and hopefully the national team can have a good performance in the Olympics. So,
Absolutely.
good. Well, Vixen, it was good to see you again, my friend. You've been ghosting us for a while, so don't
No,
make
they
it
got
like
me.
that.
I've been busy and I've been working on
No,
Monday
I
night.
hear you, brother. I understand. I know that you're up in Tallahassee
Yeah.
working on your future career and all that. So we wish you the best, my friend. All right,
Absolutely.
Vixen, it was good to have you, my friend. We'll see you soon. Maybe
Thank
next
you.
week. All right, guys.
Sounds good.
Thanks,
Take
All
care.
Vixen.
right, my friend. Take care. All right, guys. So let's start with you, John. Your expectations about New England Revolution.
Have to win every game from now on. To must win, no matter what. If this team really has turn a corner, as the happy clappers on social media want to claim they have, and I'll say the same thing we said last year. I hope they prove all of us wrong, that that there's still something there, because all I want is this team to win. All I expect is this team to win, and the next three matches, even though two of the three are away, I expect wins. It's coming down to the last 14 matches, 13 matches of the season now, and the position they're in. I'll continue to say it. Closer in points to last place than they are to fifth place, which is only 2 spots ahead of them on the table. So as fast as they rose up to seventh, they can fall just as quick. Like I said, if the next two matches we only get a point each, if we get 2 points, we could very well see it. We could very well drop down pretty far down on the table.
Mm-hmm.
And I won't believe they've turned the corner until we see them beat a team that is higher up on the table, and sustain what we know they can do for an entire game against that good team, and not give up those silly late goals that we've seen them give up this entire season. So Saturday, I expect a win and nothing less.
To quote the Nature Boy Ric Flair, to be the man, you gotta beat the man. It's that simple. Ahmed, New England lost against Seattle 2-0 at Seattle. So they're coming back with that jet lag on that fake surface over there in Massachusetts.
Gillette Stadium.
Yeah, Gillette Stadium. Expectations, my friend, about what may happen this Saturday.
You know what, man? It's like John said. We're coming off of a win of a 5-0 win and then a 2-1 before that. There is no reason why we cannot win all three of these next games. Actually, all four of our next games. Forget three, because after that we play Montreal. There's no reason why. I'm sorry.
Montreal's Big
sorry.
Cup.
Sorry,
So we don't
I
care about
wasn't
that
looking
one.
at the.
Yeah, it's New England, Nashville, and New York City at home. New York City that lost 2-1 to Austin. They're dropping like a rock.
There's no reason we can't win all three of those games. And I think that should be the expectation. If we won these two games, we know what we have, what it takes. I want to at least see the effort that we saw yesterday. I mean, Saturday. It feels like it was yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see that effort. I want to see that level of play, and take no excuses, man. I mean, how can you come up with an excuse after a performance like what we saw on Saturday? What excuse could you possibly have? Because they obviously gel. They've gotten their stuff together, right? Isn't that what we're saying? We've gotten our stuff together because we won 5-0. So let's see that now for these next 3 games. That's it, man. I mean, you guys know I haven't had any expectations because we weren't playing consistently. We're playing somewhat consistently. I'm not going to talk about the placement of the teams, but hey, consistency is consistency, right? So we're showing signs of improvement. Let's keep it going. I don't think we should accept anything. We, meaning the team, the guys, I don't think they should be happy with anything less than 9 points in those 3 games.
No, I join the guys on that assessment. I mean, the fact of the matter is New England's on a free fall, 22 points. The one thing they have going for themselves is that they are the one team in the East with the fewest games played, with 20. So they still have games in hand that they can utilize to leapfrog a lot of teams. I'm gonna tell you the truth. From 5th all the way down to 15th, it's who catches heat. It's who catches heat, because we got 3 games before the Leagues Cup, and then after that we got 9 games. So you gotta put points on the table before the break into the league, and then when you return, it's survival of the fittest. It's the Royal Rumble. Okay, if somebody has creativity, please put all the logos, all the crest of all the clubs into wrestlers, and let's go out. I mean, it's gonna be a bloodbath, plain and simple. I gotta tell you the truth. I think 2 of the teams that right now are in positions 1 to 7 are not going to make the playoffs. You heard from me. 2 of the 7 teams are not gonna make the playoffs. Let's not be one of them, because it's gonna be. I personally, I think Montreal is still motivated. We haven't seen the best of Atlanta, and Toronto has too much talent to be where they are. And Nashville may be the dark horse. So let's not be one. I think the most vulnerable teams out of those seven is us, unfortunately, and Charlotte. Charlotte has been above the line simply because traditional teams that make playoffs, like Orlando and like Nashville has not failed to make the playoffs since their inception. Atlanta, Philadelphia are out on the outs. So that's why now Charlotte finally they're praying that they finally make the playoffs. You know, we're not a charity. We gotta play games, beat them, and take whatever we can. So guys, one thing before we go is the fact that tomorrow the true championship of this country, the oldest, the Open Cup returns. Atlanta is going to be hosting Indy 11. We're all Indy 11. This is going to be at 7 p.m. Tomorrow. At 11 p.m. Eastern Time, Sacramento versus Seattle. We are all Sacramento on that one. And then Wednesday, July 10th, the Canadian Championship returns with Forge FC hosting Toronto. Kansas City in the Open Cup hosting Dallas. Pacific FC, by the way, Pacific FC is the team that plays at the stadium where Calvary FC hosted us. So they're purple. We wish them all the best against Vancouver. And then LAFC against New Mexico, the Cinderella of 2 years ago, returns, hoping to get a spot in the final. So go watch the games, support the Open Cup, and anything else to add, guys?
If you're trying to watch the games, Google it and they'll come up. The MLS has the rights to most of them through Apple TV, so they do their best to hide them. If I saw a post the other day, if you just Google U.S. Open Cup soccer or something like that, they should show up there under in Google. They should all the streams of the game should show up, so you should be able to watch them with no problem going through it that way. Or I believe they're all on YouTube on U.S. Soccer's page, and you can watch them all that way.
Beautiful. Do we have any more comments before we go?
Yeah, we have a couple of more.
ahead.
Let's see. We had Misael Rosa said that NYC at home is a must win. Absolutely.
In my opinion, yes.
Yep. Serge Nash was talking about the Kaká induction. He said, why do we do it at the end of the game? Kaká deserved at least the beginning of the game induction.
Absolutely. This was mentioned by many people.
Yep. Yeah, because you had a lot of people that were, especially for the casuals, they were just
right. The guy and people that live far away. I mean, not for nothing. We got out of there, what, 11 p.m.?
Mm-hmm.
In Paramore. And no offense, but I don't know of anybody that hangs out at 11 p.m. in Paramore when most of the police force was already gone, the barriers were already gone, and you're walking in the streets. Yep. I'm sorry. When my son and I left, we were like, well, was this smart? Fortunately, we left in a big group of people. But yeah, if you don't leave within an hour after the game's over, you're rolling a dice. And I'm sorry if I'm offending anybody, but we all know it's an area that full of transients. One time I went to. I'm a despicable person for laughing. One time I went to the den to pick up a jersey that I had purchased, and it was on a Saturday, and it was like a murder investigation, like right up, on the north side of the stadium. It was insane, and the staff, it was like a girl, a guy and a girl. You actually have to like knock at the door. They're locked. The doors are locked.
Wow.
For safety. It's insane. Like I said, it's not the best of neighborhoods, and hopefully our mayor, Buddy Dyer, does something about it. But I'm here to tell you it's dangerous. I don't know of anybody that goes to that side of town to hang out. I'm saying. So, John, any words for the guys before we head out of here?
Yeah, we passed over when Vixen joined, with just the legend that is Kaká, the people that the legends of the game that they had talking for him.
Oh yeah.
During his ceremony was amazing. Not unexpected, but surprising because I mean, I try to be humble with Orlando City's place and the soccer world, and to have Roberto Carlos was one of them.
I mean, it was a who's who of Brazilian football. Let's just be honest.
There were some others that weren't Brazilian.
Well, Infantino, a man that gets no love from the Valentine household, was there. I mean, he had to do what he had to do, and most to me, one
The
of the
one
most
thing I
corrupt people.
found most shocking about the whole presentation was to hear Phil Rollins' voice in the video.
Whoa,
Orlando City. I don't know if you caught that.
Listen, okay. I was gonna go, but I can never walk away from. I can never
David,
walk away from.
I gotta throw that out there for you.
I can, yeah. When I thought I was out, they bring me back in. I'm gonna say this with all the respect. I think Phil Rollins' legacy is critical for all of us. Whatever he did in his personal life, you can have your opinion about that. I'm not going to. I'm not going to go into that. I bought the book, Defy Expectations, the Phil Rollins story. I find it an incredible book, even for people that are not Orlando City fans or that are not football fans at all. And he put his brick on the wall for the creation of the club, and I feel that now that he has disassociated himself with the club, we tend to bury his legacy, his persona, his likeness because his ex-wife's still in the club. Okay, and my respect to Kay. I have ran into her many times. We have spoken. She actually followed me on Twitter at some point. Why, I don't know, but the fact of the matter is that perhaps, and as somebody that went through a divorce, I understand there's always animosity that lingers. Perhaps we need to also recognize Phil for what he did for the club versus his persona outside of the club and outside of football. I think for probably since 2017 we have done this where we ignore Phil's contributions, we ignore what he did. I mean, I was told by somebody close to the situation not to believe that he actually loved the city or he loved the club, that this was just a business venture for him. Perhaps he was, but what Phil did for people like me is gifted us a club to follow, to root, to support. And in Kaka's words, years have gone by and we have grown, and our fan base has grown. The people have fallen in love with football. They follow national teams overseas. And one of the things that we have to mention is around us, Ahmed knows this, we had a bunch of people from the UK. There was a ton of people from Scotland and Northern Ireland wearing their national team jerseys, wearing their local clubs. And that to me, is just beautiful. To me, it's just beautiful to see that people are taking time of their vacation to go watch us. Perhaps for the first time. And I have met people that are like, hey, I come to Orlando City game. Come to Orlando City game. We plan our holiday around going to see the boys because they're our club. So to me, what can I say? I just think that if we're gonna start recognizing legends, Phil definitely needs to be one of them. We need to start recognizing our people from the MLS. From the USL era: Sean Kelly, Rob Valentino, Jamie Watson, Luke Bowden, Louis Neal. There's a lot of people that contributed to the club, and I think, in my opinion, some of them are legends indeed. I will go further. I would love to see us have a wall where each brick has the name of every single player who has been part of our squad. Anybody that has been an Orlando City player, even Merrim is gonna have his place there because not for nothing. If you worked for the development of this club, you deserve to have your brick on the wall. I think that will be a nice thing. I know that now that after they demolished the church, there's more room. What is the club going to do with that property? It remains to be seen. But I think, and I join the voices of a lot of people in the supporter groups and people that have been here for a while. We think we deserve to have a museum for the fans to visit, for visitors to go and see our history, because our history is huge. For a 14-year-old club is insane. All the incredible moments, and I, for once, I feel very proud to call around and see my club, and I will wherever they go, I will follow. Guys, anything else before we get canceled? Hate me all you want. I don't care. I mean, as long as God, my mom, and my wife and my kids love me, it's water under the bridge. Um, by the way, I created a Twitter account so I can go on the Twitter Spaces for Orlando Lions. Then it has already been reported. Probably be taken down by tomorrow. I don't know how because I wasn't tweeting out of it. I wasn't following anybody. I wasn't allowing anybody to follow me. But people on the Twitter Spaces figured out that was my account, and they decided to crowd report it. And again, I don't know how can you report an account that doesn't have tweets and doesn't have my name and it doesn't have my picture. Listen, if I wish the folks at X took for what it is. It's they think that taking the account is gonna make me cry, and it doesn't, because I still make more money than you. I'm still better looking than you. I'm still smarter than you. And every week we get over 100 people to listen to us or watch us. Those are the facts. Not you. They don't know who you are. If you're that brilliant, come and do 40 weeks out of the year podcasting for free. Go do it and see if you're that smart. But it is what it is. All right, guys. We're rambling here. John, any last words before we let the folks go?
Just win.
Just win, baby. We need to print that on shirts. Ahmed?
Absolutely. Just win 9 points.
That's
More
it.
points.
That's it. 9 points. Guys, thank you very much to the 31 folks that were with us live tonight. Thank you very much for the folks that are going to be watching this later on at Davis Channel 76 on YouTube. And I want to remind everybody that you, just like Vixen, can come on the show if you request. Please do so. We're on Instagram, where I am active, sharing funny things. We're on X. We're live on X, live on Facebook, live on Twitch, TikTok, Threads, Blue Sky, and you can hear us on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. On the Capo Stand. And once again, if you see us at the stadium, say hello. John loves it. John loves it. He told me because he loves positivity. So when you see John, hug him. Don't say who you are. Just go and hug him. You tell me what happens afterwards.
If you do that to me when we're losing, you might not.
Yeah, you may not like it. Yeah, there you go, brother. And we're good for Ahmed, who is the roommate by excellence. And Ahmed, you failed to give your buddy a shout out, bro. He's probably like wondering why are we saying goodbye. You didn't mention anything.
I gotta give Diego a huge shout out. Diego from the outlet shop. If you guys have not stopped by there, please do so. He's an amazing guy, and he actually stopped by and had a one of the shirts for me from the that they were giving away, that they weren't giving away, that they were selling.
They were selling. Come on now,
selling at the event. So huge thank you to him for that. And make sure you stop by and mention the podcast, and he will give you a nice little surprise. So
there you go. Pays off to be at the pays off to listen to us all at the very end. So go ahead and support a fan, and not only that, small business owner in Florida. I mean, come on, especially on a month where there's no sales tax, right?
Yep.
There you go. I mean,
Time.
yeah, the governor, he's not a saint of a lot of people's devotions, but he's giving you tax free, baby. You take it where he's coming from and say thank you. All right, guys. So we'll be saying to do here in a second. Hopefully, next Monday, the boys are going to be gracing us with more points as we race towards making playoffs and had the happy clappers. The happy clappers already got the emails on draft to go crap on people like me. And you know what? I'm gonna welcome that because again, I'm here for the wins, baby. I'm here for the wins, not to give you satisfaction. If you want satisfaction, well, I can't help you there. All right, guys. Thank you again, John and Ahmed, for once again helping me make a great podcast. I would like to remind everybody to go support the boys Sunday for OCB. Definitely, if you're a season ticket holder, they're free. So go ahead and do that. And we want to remind everybody as we say goodbye. The only way we know how, by reminding everybody that football is cruel and unpredictable. That football is a pound of talent and an ounce of luck. Also, that is played on grass, not on paper. And if you have not cried over football for joy or anger, have you really football? For myself, John, Amen, and Vixen, may God bless you. And as always, vamos, Orlando!